Hello, good evening, and welcome to NSG News Update. It's the 14th day of September 2025, and from our luxurious studios here in Amahia, in Accra, Ghana, wherever you are watching us from, you're welcome. My name is Kofi Asante Mensah, and this is NSG News Update. Just after this breather, we'll go into the stories. Please stay. Hello and welcome back. It's the NSG News Update with your man, Kofi Asante Mensah. We begin rather on a very sad note because the Safo family and the Christo Asafo Church confirmed that Apostle Dr. Kwadwo Safo has died. A statement said he passed on peacefully on Thursday, September 11th, 2025. He was widely celebrated as a man of God, innovator, philanthropist, and industrialist. Quote, with profound sorrow and deepest grief, the Safo family and the Christo Asafo Church announced the peaceful passing of Ghana's beloved man of God, the greatest technological icon, philanthropist, agriculturist, and industrialist, the statement said. We move on to the presidency because the Vice President, Professor Nana Opoku-Agyeman, has been installed as Owabrempong Kroko the first by the chiefs and people of Komenda traditional area. The installment took place during the 2025 Komenda Man Nyanyi Festival held on Saturday, September 13, 2025. The new stool name, Abrewa Owabrempong Kroko the First, symbolizes honor and recognition for Professor Opoku-Agyeman's contribution to education, national development, and her commitment to the values of leadership and service. Let's do some more stories here because the Food and Beverages Association of Ghana, FABAG, has opposed proposed increases in utility tariffs, warning that such a move would cripple businesses and undermine the government's 24-hour economy policy. The Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, has, for instance, proposed a sharp upward review of electricity distribution charges, seeking an average of 224% increase in the distribution service charge, DSC1, over the 2025 to 2029 tariff period. In a statement cited by NSG News on Sunday, September 14th, FABAG said the planned tariff hikes, particularly the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, would worsen the already dire situation facing businesses in the country, especially in the food and beverages sector. Now, let's do some more stories here on NSG News Update. We're looking at a roundup of major stories in the week. And the Accra Circuit Court has remanded the Bono Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Kwame Bafo, popularly known as Abronye, into prison custody after he was arraigned Friday on charges of offensive conduct conducive to the breach of public peace and publication of false news. The complainant in the case is the Ghana Police Service. Abronye will return to court on September 19, 2025.
His rights are being abused using the court as a channel. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, yesterday when a UK Minister of State visited Parliament, in my interactions, I had this to say, that the time has come for political leaders to end the I do you, you do me, or you do me, I do you. Cannot be sustained. Ghana must make progress. Since 1992, when we started this democracy, we've gone through challenges. I think that under this reset dispensation, we will see something different. But this situation of abusing human rights under the guise of ensuring law and order is neither here nor there. If you look at the charges, these are all misdemeanor. These are charges that are not serious offenses. If you say somebody is publishing fake news with the intent to cause fear and panic, it's a mere misdemeanor. Then you again say that his conduct is offensive conduct and it breaches the peace. These are not serious matters. And I mean, this shouldn't lead to somebody being put in Black Maria.
That's threats.
On the contrary, a national officer of the NDC threatened my life, threatened the national organizer and other senior members of the party. Threat of death openly. We petition. Unfortunately, because there's a different Ghana for NPP and there's a different Ghana for the NDC, the IGP has not even arrested the said officer. A communication officer of the NDC in Akotia constituency also repeated this said threat, but he has not been. And that is what we see. You see, our friends in the NDC should watch this. Power is like an ice block. When it's given to you, it starts to melt from the very day.
Still in the Abronye case, let's do some more stories because the former Attorney General and Minister for Justice, Godfrey Dame, has criticized the administration of John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency, accusing it of showing intolerance of... I take it again. Still in the news of Abronye, former Attorney General and Minister for Justice, Godfrey Dame, has criticized the administration of President John Dramani Mahama, accusing it of showing intolerance by stifling dissenting voices. His remarks follow the arrest and continued detention of the Bono Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Kwame Bafo Abronye. Still in the detention of Kwame Bafo Abronye, the New Patriotic Party has announced that it will stage a demonstration on Tuesday, 23rd September 2025, to protest what it calls state-sponsored harassment by the Ghana Police Service against its members. The party's national youth organizer, Salam Mustafa, disclosed this in a Facebook post on Friday, September 12. Let's do some more stories for you here on NSG News Update because the Eastern South Regional Police Command has confirmed the arrest of Alhaji Sofo Azoka, a National Vice Chairman of the ruling National Democratic Congress, in connection with an alleged assault on Alhaji Masawood Osman, the third National Vice Chairman of the opposition New Patriotic Party, during the by-election at Etiwa on September 2nd, 2025. Alhaji Azoka was arrested in Tamale on Wednesday, September 10th, as part of ongoing investigation into the incident. In a statement, the police revealed that he was granted bail after a caution statement was taken and has been directed to report to the Eastern South Regional Police Command in Chebi on Tuesday, September 16th, 2025 at 10 a.m., where he will be formally arraigned before court.
So they told me and assured me at that Friday that by Monday they will arrest Azoka. So by Monday I called the investigator and he said that they have called him, they have summoned him, they called him for interrogation, but still now they did not get him, but they are on process of what? To arrange if he didn't come himself. That is what the policeman told me. If Azoka did not willingly come himself at the distant police station, they will order for his arrest. So this morning, one of the Chebi police, the investigator, there are three of them. One of the investigators called me and asked me whether or not I'm in Accra or wherever I am. And I told him that I'm in Accra. And he told me for now they have arrested Azoka. That is what he told me, that Azoka has been arrested. And to me, everybody know how NDC, how trick they are. They are confident trickers. They can trick people just simple because they fall foul. Ghanaians began to see the injustice of John Mahama, the unconstitutional way of arresting people of John Dramani Mahama. So this is one of their tricks that they want to put it out there so that it will look like Azoka, they are doing something. But Mr. IGP, you can't be smarter than the Ghanaians. If you forgot, let me remind you that it is the good people of Ghana, the taxpayers' money that we used to pay you. Is that still the same taxpayers' money we used to pay John Dramani Mahama? So why are we seeing all this? When did insult? Well, if insult become a crime, so that the Bunu regional chairman can insult someone or can put a fake news so that he will be arrested with a Black Maria, which is meant for notorious criminals, and they will arrest him. Why is it that John Mahama insult the entire tribe, the entire tribe, and label them as Achim mafias, as Sakawa people, and John Mahama is not arrested? So we want the IGP should act competently. We want the IGP to act as a Ghanaian, as a police for Ghana, not police for NDC.
Some more stories here on Energy News Update, because the Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa has arrived in Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire, ahead of his planned mission to the asylum site, providing shelter for over 10,000 Ghanaians who have fled into the neighboring country. This follows the escalating conflict in the Benyuri community in the Savannah region. Minister for the Interior Mohamed Muntaka Mubarak disclosed last week that more than 13,000 Ghanaians as of September 4 had fled across the border into Cote d'Ivoire due to the Benyuri land dispute. Now, let's go into Parliament, because the Minority Leader Alexander Kwamina Afenyo-Markin has denounced the removal of Chief Justice Gertrude Esaba Tokono, describing as it a vicious political action. Despite government quest to reset the country and make the necessary changes to spur development, the Efutu Member of Parliament says that responsibility must come with fairness. Speaking during a visit by the UK Minister for International Development to the Speaker of Parliament on Thursday, September 11th, he said the excesses of the current administration must be looked at.
We in the minority are not satisfied or happy with how the Chief Justice was recently removed. We see it as more of politics than really ensuring that there is some accountability. Of course, once we've been in office for 8 years, we expect that the new government coming in with its reset policy may want to investigate, and all is part of the politics, the democratic accountability. They must. But we also expect that the law will be applied in a humane way. So, for instance, if you are investigating someone, you ask the person to report, and he reports. You don't just handcuff the person when he has voluntarily come to you for investigation, and then you say, I have put a bail bond of, say, 50,000 on you, look for property before I release you. These are some of the challenges that we believe we can improve upon. Because for the past 30 years, it's become clear that both parties have had a chance to govern. I am a moderate politician. I believe that the excesses where the hardliners take the center and they take the pace when a government comes into office must be a thing of the past. I must admit that some of these excesses are happening in my time, in our time, our 8 years in office. Some did happen. But we cannot continue with a vicious cycle of you do me, I do you. There are key governance issues that I believe as a democracy.
The Coalition of Aggrieved Customers of Menzgold has renewed its appeal to the government to take urgent steps toward retrieving their locked-up investments as they mark 7 years since the collapse of Menzgold Ghana Limited. In a statement issued by the group's convener, Fred Forson, the coalition urged President John Dramani Mahama, the Attorney General, to fulfill the pledge to appoint a receiver to manage the recovery process. The group further appealed to the government to consider a financial bailout on compassionate grounds in the upcoming 2026 budget. Let's do some more stories because the West African Examinations Council, WAEC, has reported a rise in examination malpractices during this year's West African Senior School Certificate Examination WASI for school candidates. Monitoring teams disclosed cases of impersonation, unauthorized mobile phone use, and the sharing of exam questions among candidates and some invigilators. John Kapi, WAEC's head of public affairs, disclosed that 16 people were arrested at different examination centers and during the elective mathematics paper. 24 mobile phones, I must say, 64 mobile phones were confiscated from a single school.
Ahead of the 2025 WASI, education stakeholders repeatedly warned candidates to steer clear of examination malpractices, but those warnings appear to have gone unheeded. Already, more than a dozen people, from teachers to invigilators, have been arrested for various offenses, including impersonation and aiding candidates to cheat.
2 persons were arrested for impersonation at Ghana College, Kaswa. They were arraigned before court and have been sentenced to 6 months imprisonment each, while their accomplice was sentenced to 8 months imprisonment. Ebenezer Finn was arrested at St. Vincent College, Abradunkwa. Hannah Lariba, a student of Yeji Senior High School, Mumni Abdul Hafiz, bolted before the monitoring team could apprehend him. Mr. Kodua Desmond was arrested at Abbott College, Asante Bekwai. Osei Asibe Daniel was arrested at Etrima Kwanwuma Presbyterian SHS for impersonation. Raymond Kwasi was arrested at Etrima Kwanwuma Presbyterian SHS for contracting Osei Asibe Daniel to write the examination on behalf of Obin Dapa Emmanuel. Maxwell Chamba and Amaglo Livingston were arrested at Sefa Bonsuroyal SHS EG for impersonation. Mr. Ernest Frimpong, an invigilator, was arrested at King James SHTS for possession of a mobile phone. Patrick Essel, a former national service person, was arrested for aiding a candidate at Mpraiso Senior High School.
Head of Public Affairs at WAEC, John Kapi, revealed that the council has also shut down the Adventist Day Senior High School Center in Kumasi and relocated candidates to WAEC's regional office after officials seized more than 60 mobile phones at the center.
We have also received reports of candidates having in their possession mobile phones, prepared notes, photocopied answers, obviously distributed by the invigilators. At Adventist SHS Bantama Kumasi, 64 phones were retrieved from the candidates during the elective mathematics paper. Candidates from that school have since been moved to the WAEC Hall in Kumasi to continue with their examination. The council also has a list of schools that have been reported for their involvement in acts of irregularity. Strips of candidates from these schools will certainly be scrutinized.
WAEC's Director of Finance, Dr. Cornelius Azuma, also confirmed that government has fully settled all financial obligations for the conduct of both the WASI and the BECE.
All the BECE examination fees, that's about 122 million. And then as of yesterday, we have also received for the WAS school. So I must say that we have received all the fees for 2025 examinations.
Just a reminder, you are still watching NSG News Update on NSG News channel, and our website is www.nsgnews.com. Please read more on our website. Let's do more stories for you, because former Vice President and New Patriotic Party NPP flag bearer hopeful Dr. Mahmudu Bawumia has dismissed allegations that he performed poorly in Zongo communities during the 2024 general elections, describing the allegations as baseless propaganda. Speaking at a party gathering in the Asoka constituency of the Ashanti region on Wednesday, 10th September 2025. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia said narratives suggesting that Muslims and Zongo voters abandoned him in the last election were not supported by evidence.
Propaganda that ewo say that etoso omuka say munyina motiye say skramofo zongofo omuanto aba ama Dr. Bawumia samotiye metiye me say na data yi wo he because me dey ubeka nchire me asema me hia ejina so o me say fa data yi bra na but sa propaganda no na emu edin papa na enenam bibia say kramofo anto aba ma Dr. Bawumia ma anto ama Dr. Bawumia but me share data no mu the story is different. In fact, Zongos no yenya votes in 2024 esin votes are yenya in 2020. Nano presidential aspirant Bako Eko Jinaho Ka say Dr. Bawumia Zongos no only one polling station and Owini the whole country. Samotiye. Or say one, the whole country. What is that propaganda? Say the whole country, Zongos, Dr. Bawumia Winnie, only one polling station. Ewo, a futu ho baby. Me say, share data imu and fambra abonting. Share data no sa presidential aspirant ni Zongo no ani Zongo me Winnie wo ho. Ni ani Zongo mi Winnie wo ho. Na uba Ashanti uba hu said many of the Zongos ye appeal votes, even though ye winning many constituencies. But in terms of the votes, no many uba Fomenaha Amadia SHS ye mi Winnie ho SHS A SHS B. Bekwai Sosa, Sawaba Fish Pond 1, Sawaba Fish Pond 2, Subin, Ahmadiyya Primary School, Ahmadiyya Primary School 2, Ahmadiyya Secondary School, so many polling stations. But the data across the whole country, should say, we did better in the Zongos in 2024 than in 2020. So, why are propaganda ewoho? Nipa ekasa without data. Because omo pese omo ye konkonsa. Enyasa. Konkonsa de unhia data. Odi two system no na enam na eko. Enyasa. But odi u konkonsa ba me ho a me ma na agina ho me the data no ebe confront you.
Just to remind you that this week, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama held his first media encounter, and as part of issues he addressed the single spine pay policy. The president indicated that the single spine pay policy, as the late President John Evans Fifi Atta Mills implemented to create a distinct pay plan whereby employees in the same pay scale are paid equally, has now become a pale shadow of its original idea. The policy, famously known as SSSS, or single spine salary structure, gained prominence during Professor Mills' reign from 2009 to 2012, offering respite to many government workers. Let's listen to what President John Dramani Mahama said at the media encounter.
We must work towards a living wage. All of us are dissatisfied with the salary we get as public servants. The private sector offers better remuneration, but that's why we have to work together to grow the national cake so that we can pay ourselves better. And that is why there's agitation for cancellation of Article 71 in the Constitution, because we all must feel the pinch so that we can grow things together. But when you cushion a certain constitutional class and they have more cushy remuneration than the other people, then it creates a kind of discrimination between public service. And so our advocacy has been for an independent emoluments commission that would deal with the salaries and wages of all persons in the public sector so that we grow those wages together. In our first incarnation under Professor Mills, we established a single spine salary structure. And that salary structure was supposed to uniform out wages in the public sector so that the disparity would not be too wide. So if you are a secretary in GBC compared to a secretary in, say, Bank of Ghana, there will not be that very wide disparity. Unfortunately, the single spine atonsium, because of the inability to maintain the discipline in public sector wages. Over the last 8 years, the group that is able to strike the most gets more addition to their wages than those that don't go on strike. And so the disparities have occurred again. And so we're in consultation with organized labor to see what we can do about reforming public sector wages. And I'm sure that if those wages are made better, journalists working in the public sector would also have an improvement in their remuneration.
Our final story this evening, the founder and leader of the Liberal Party of Ghana, LPG, Percival Kofi Akpaloo, has been released from the custody of the Economic and Organized Crime Office, EOCO. Akpaloo, who was arrested on September 3, 2025, was freed on Thursday, September 11, 2025, after satisfying the conditions of a 10,000 Ghana cedis, a 10 million Ghana cedis bill granted by the agency. And let's watch Kofi Akpaloo because he has been talking.
You should say something to your audience to be worried. Your police have been worried about you. Yes, let them be worried. Won't you say anything to them?
No, please.
You say anything.
No,
Just say
please.
But I hope the process was smooth for you.
Fantastic. There's nothing wrong.
Hey, yes, you can be chairman. Almost then, or I could do then over the apple.
Oh, I'm some investigation. But as you know, politics, yeah. Because as one make a kind, no, original somebody, yeah.
This is how we wrap up for the news update here on NSG News. Thank you very much. For more news, please visit our website nsgnews.com. And I am Kofi Asante Mensah. Thank you for watching, and we'll meet again.